Hello, everybody. My name is Sally Irons, and I am from Crafty Techie. Today, we're going to go on to part 2, learning about how students can search the internet productively. Today, our focus is on Webhunts. So let's get started. A web hunt activity, they started back in 1992. They are inquiry-based. They focus on basic and specific internet searching. They are proven to help with reading comprehension and comprehension skills. Let's go ahead and take a look at a lesson plan template to get us started. So, what you can do is, this is a template that I've created. It has the title, it has a section for the subject matter and the grade level. You need to put in an objective for the lesson plan. The learners will demonstrate knowledge, understanding, and ability to, and you would complete the sentence. Then we have our content standards for whatever content area you're working in. The next thing you want to include is a technology standard for students. They are called the NETs. They were created many years ago by an organization called ISTE, the International Society for Technology Education. And they have an entire set of technology standards for K-12. So if you're not unfamiliar with them, you might want to take a look. Tremendous resource. The next thing you want to include in your lesson plan for Webhunts would be the actual website addresses that you're going to send the students to. So you would list those here. The next section is your student research questions. Every unit, as educators, we have an essential question that we want the students to be able to answer. So you want to make sure you include that essential question in their lesson plan. Then you can include secondary questions, and you can have as many as you want depending on the length of the activity and the ability of your students. The last thing that you want to make sure that you do is include how you are going to assess the students after the activity is over. So there is our template. Now, I actually have a sample web hunt about chocolate. I got this off of Teacher Paid Teachers. A lady by the name of Sandy Cangelosi was the one that created it. And I want to share this with you because it does show you how a web hunt is set up. So there's her cover page, her thank you for your purchase. I did not purchase it. It was absolutely free. So this is a web hunt called Everything Chocolate. And the way she has this set up is she would ask a question, and then directly underneath, she would put the website. So the students would go to that website and then look for the specific answers to the specific questions and write them down. So as we scroll through, you can see that she has 11 different questions that she asked of the students. The next section in this document are the actual answers. So she does give you the answer key. And here are the credits in terms of use. Then she also has some different activities. comparing and contrasting. So she asked the students about dark chocolate versus milk chocolate, and they would use the Venn diagram. Here they're working on using tally marks, referencing the different chocolates. And here is their graph. And then the last page is what they know about chocolate, what they want to know about chocolate, and what they learned about chocolate. So there is an example of a web hunt. So let's go ahead and continue on here. So there are all kinds of web hunt resources out there. Here are some different websites that you can access. Internet Scavenger Hunts, Education World, Mrs. O's House, and of course, Teacher Pay Teachers. What I want to do right now is help you folks create from scratch a web hunt about the water cycle. So let's go back into our web hunt template. And here I am going to type in water cycle. And let's say that this is for grades 4 through 6. So my lesson plan objective is going to be, I want them to be able to explain. Oop, come on. Got to get those fingers moving here. So I want them to be able to explain the order and stages of the water cycle. Oops. Okay. And I want them to be able to explain the importance of the water cycle. And let me do a bulleted list on those. There we go. I am from the state of Michigan, and so my middle school content standard is MS 2-4. I'm going to say, let's see, develop a model. Whoops, spell it correctly here. Driven by energy. Whoops, got some severe typing issues here. By energy from the sun and the force of gravity. All right. Then we come down to the technology standard. Let's just go ahead and check this out. All right, so ISTE standards for students. Looks like they've changed the location here. You can actually download the entire set. All right, we're going to check for students. So these are the different areas. They have an empowered learner, digital citizen, knowledge constructor, innovative designer, computational thinker, creative communicator, and global collaborator. And we are going to focus on 1.3, effective research strategies. So, students will use effective research strategies to find resources that support their learning needs, personal interests, and creative pursuits. So, I am going to actually select this. And I'm going to do a simple copy, Control C, come back here and Control V for a paste, and boom, got that in there. So the websites that I'm going to put in here. Now, if you remember the websites from the previous, the activity with the chocolate, let's see if I have that still. Yeah, here we go. You'll notice how long this is, and it's got question marks and equal signs and different things. Those are oftentimes very difficult for younger students, especially, to type in accurately. There is something called a tiny URL. And I will actually give you some more information on that later. But what I am going to do is type in tinyurl.com/watercycle, 1E. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to type in, actually, I can copy this, Control C, Control V, and I'm going to do 2E, and I'm going to do 3E, and 4E, and then 5E. Okay, so I've got those in there now. And just to keep it the same here. All right. You'll notice that the http:// I did not type that in here. It technically is not needed anymore with the changing of technology. It hasn't been required for some time. So it doesn't matter if you don't have that in there. All right, so there are my web addresses. Now we're going to focus on some of our essential questions here. So, next page. Oops, let me get rid of the number 6. There we go. All right, so our essential question is going to be, how does the water cycle, sustain life on Earth? So there's our essential question. Additional questions would be, oh good heavens, what is another name for the water cycle? And how much of the Earth's surface is covered by water? And so on. You can continue to type in, like I said, as many questions as you want, and then you're going to focus on an assessment. So, in what ways did the use of the internet promote student learning, and how will you assess student learning with this assignment? So, it promoted student learning by increasing engagement, student collaboration. If you have limited number of computers in the classroom, you can have the students work together to answer these questions. So there you've got your student collaboration. So how would I go about assessing the students after the activity was over? You could do a quick formative assessment. You could do a checkout question. Also known as an exit question. To find out how the students, what information they learned from this activity. You can also put together a KWL, which is, what do I already know about the water cycle? What do I want to learn about it? And what did I learn about it? So you could do that as a assessment. So there is there's the whole all right, so that ends the water cycle and the creating of a web hunt about water cycles. I do want to share with you a couple of things. You probably noticed when I opened up the template, it came up and it forced me to make a copy. So I want to show you how that happens. What you're going to do is you're going to create your web hunt worksheet, and you don't want the students to go in and make changes to your existing worksheet, because once somebody makes changes, those changes are there. You want to go in, let me go in here and show you. You're going to come up here to the share button. You're going to want to make sure that it says restricted, that only people with that can access it, that have the link, and you're going to copy the link. Now, since I'm already here, I am going to paste the link right here. Now, you'll notice that right here, it says edit question mark USP equals sharing. You want to make sure, I'm going to go back here to the screen, we went ahead and we made it restricted. We were going to paste the link where all the students have access to it. So if you're using Google Classroom, you can throw it in there. We have found the word edit, and you highlight everything from the word edit to the very end, and you replace that text with the word copy. So I go back over here, I type in the word copy. This is the link that I'm going to give the students. So I would highlight this, I would copy it, and then I would go into Google Classroom and paste it in Google Classroom or in Teams or whatever program that you use, learning management system that you use with the students, so that is the link that they're going to click on, and it will take them to their copy of the worksheet. All right. Now, how to shorten the URLs. I talked about it in my presentation, that sometimes the students wind up with these super long URLs, and it's difficult for the students to type it all in accurately. So what you would do is you would select and copy the long URL that you're using, and you're going to go to one of the shortening websites. I happen to choose tinyurl.com. It would open up the screen. You can create a free account. So you would go here, you would enter the long URL, then you'd paste that in there, and you would customize it. So it would be tinyurl, and then you would put in what you want it to be. And this is where I typed in water cycle, and I did the 1E, the 2E, the 3E, and so on. And then I told it to shorten the URL, and that's what I came up with on the that I used in the worksheet. I then will copy the shortened one and then paste it in the document so that the kids could use it. So that is an example of how to shorten websites. Well, I want to thank everybody for coming in today, for viewing in, and I appreciate it. And the part 3 is going to be how to do a web quest. Thank you very much, folks, and have a great day.